Hey everyone, we're going to take a look at this new Masterful Stars. It's a new nominating contract pack that's been released. So we're going to have a look through all the players in there, and then we're going to also look at the two new match pass players that they've given us. So we'll go in here and we'll start off with Pereyra from Udinese. So Pereyra is a whole player. He's down as a right midfielder. He's not got outstanding pace. He's got okay pace. I wonder if his pace isn't that great. Is he best right midfield with a whole player play style? Is he better as an AMF? I personally think he is. He's better through the middle. You have a look down here at his skill set. Loads of great skills there for dribbling. He's great on the ball, but in terms of his end product, the one skill there really is through passing. So if he's going to be capable of playing some through balls and creating chances, I really feel like he's best off through the middle to really make the most of his skill set and his play style of whole player. In terms of the way he's built here with the auto allocation, it's probably about as good as you can get. I'll be tempted to toy with it a little bit. If I just take a one-off shooting, it'll still be on the 70 mark for finishing. I think that's okay. Dribbling doesn't need to be quite that high. Take a bit off his speed and then get his dexterity up. I would maybe just do that. Just tweak it slightly. Then you've got his lofted pass there at 81. Make the most of his through passing skill. Still great dribbling, great on the ball. Having that 80 for offensive awareness, as I always say, for a whole player, you really want to maximize that play style. Make sure you make the most out of his ability and his inclination to make attacking runs. He's still got decent speed and balance as well. Very, very mobile player. So, he's not a top level player, but a very tidy player, very useful as a whole player. If you like Udinese, if you like this player, I know a lot of people like him. Could be a really nice option for you. And he goes up from his base card's 87 maxed out, so he goes up quite a bit with this one going up to 90. So yeah, nice little card that. And then next up, Trincao. So this guy's a prolific winger, down as a right wing or a wide right sort of forward. Speed again, he's not too dissimilar to Pereyra. He's fairly quick without having electric pace. I just wonder, I look at his skill set. He's got great shooting skills, long range drive, long range shooting, rising shots, and first time shot. So he can take chances, albeit his finishing on this auto allocated build is not great at 69. He's also got through passing though. That's an interesting one. Super sub, of course, is always a great skill to have. But looking at through passing, I just wonder, is he better through the middle? Is he better playing through the middle as an SS just behind the attack? Passing isn't brilliant. You could maybe tweak the allocation of his attributes here. I'm just going to play around with it slightly. Bit off his speed. It didn't. Yeah, that personally, the auto allocation is not bad, but this way, he gets finishing up to the 70 mark. His low pass up to 80. Again, through passing, you want to make the most of him having the through passing skill. We've taken a bit off his dribbling, so he's not quite as good on the ball, but he's still pretty good. And he's got his 80 offensive awareness, still reasonably quick. Either way, you could do either build. You can tweak it how you like, but quite a useful little player to have, playing either behind the attack or wide right. And like I say, that skill set there, some really good shooting skills and through passing. And with his base card going up to 88, this one, depending how you build him, can go up to 90. So pretty tidy little player, this Trincao. And next up, Mukiele from PSG. So Mukiele on the auto allocation, he's down as a right back. He's pretty solid defensively, very good speed. His acceleration isn't great, but it's good enough. Balance isn't brilliant. My concern with him as a right back, I look down this left column, he's not great on the ball, and he's not great at passing either. So you just want a unit at right back, just someone who's strong defensively, just to do his defensive duties. Sure, he could be effective, but as soon as you get the ball, you want to be getting rid of it quickly and carefully. So, yeah, I mean, not ideal, but one thing with Mukiele, which is interesting, is that if you want to play around with the allocation of his stats, his skills, you can do this. I'm basically going to get rid of all of this. And then I'm going to Put his defensive right up. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. You can play around, you can tweak that this way and that way, but you look down at his skill set as well. He's got a good set of skills for a defender. Man marking, interception, he's got heading and aerial superiority, acrobatic clear, fighting spirit, hide and tackle. Good set of skills for a centre-back. So if you retrain this guy and you consider playing him as a centre-back, suddenly I think he becomes a lot more effective than he is as a right-back. Defensive engagement is the lowest of the defensive stats, but 84 still isn't too bad. 89 for awareness is good, and then you got 95 and 93 there, very high. 80 for speed for a centre-back is very good, with 73 acceleration. It's pretty strong in the air. Heading's not brilliant over here at 77, but he will win a lot of headers. Physical contact's decent. Stamina's fine for a centre-back, and then ball control 71, low pass 70. He's decent enough on the ball as well. So personally, looking at Mukiele, as a right back, he can do a job, but he's a little bit iffy on the ball. But if you train this guy to be a centre back, I think you're in business. I think that's where you're going to get the real value out of this guy. Could be a very useful option when he gets form. And next up, Lafont. Straight away you look at that goalkeeper awareness 78. That's a big concern for me. You're going to get found out with that. I think straight away with Lafont, I'm looking down at the allocation. I'm thinking, where can I find a few points to put on his goalkeeper awareness? 84 for jumping. You can immediately take 4 off that. 80 is still okay for that. So you've got 4 points now. Reflexes at 90. Don't need to be that high. So if we take a few off there, if we take that down by 4, that frees up some more points. And you put all those points on awareness, then you have a bit more well-rounded build on him. So you've got 82 for awareness now. I've still got 86 for reflexes, 84 reach. Very good shot stopper. The concern for me now, no matter which way you build him, both those builds, again, you can build him how you want, but if you're going to make him good enough all around, you're pretty much always going to have low parrying, and parrying is going to basically mean you're going to present chances to your opponent when he parries shots. I wouldn't be comfortable using this guy. If you're really desperate, he's the only goalkeeper you've got with form. You know, he could do a job, sure. You know, he's had some good form, you can see up here. He's had some bad form as well. Ultimately, can do a job, but there's a big question mark there with the parrying and just in general whether he's good enough on the whole. Not too sure personally. If I had contracts to use up, sure, pick him up as an option, but I wouldn't be too excited to pick him up, really. Next up, Alvarez, another interesting one here. Not dissimilar to Mukiele. When you look at his default build with the auto allocation, really strong defensively here. Not so great on the ball. If you're going to have a player, defensive midfielder, in the middle of the park, having your ball control at 77, low pass at 78, you're going to surrender possession. That really, I would not be comfortable with that. I'll be looking at maybes, messing around with this build. You could take some defensives off, say put the defending down to 8, so he's still got 80 plus for all his defensives. See how high we can get all of these. See, that's quite a bit better. I'd maybe do that as a defensive midfielder. Still, I think either way, when you're playing competitively, if you're in divs, you're trying to, you're coming up against very high-rated teams. I'm not sure this guy's quite on that level as a defensive midfielder. He's just not quite good enough for me. He does have a fantastic skill set. He's got all these really good skills for a defender. Interception, blocker as well, acrobatic clearance. He's got superiority in the air, very good defensive skills, and then one-touch pass is a lovely bonus skill as well. Just helps a bit to compensate for his low pass not being so great. What you could do with Alvarez, as I say, I likened this guy to Mukiele, who we just looked at. Just looking at what we can do. Give him a centre-back build, and we'll see how he comes out. And he comes out like that. So, again, you suddenly find that he's, I personally think, much more valuable. If this guy's a centre-back, defensive awareness 85 is not the best, but it's certainly not bad at all, 85. 90 plus for all the other 3 defensive stats. His speed is pretty decent for a centre back. It's not too bad. Physical contact and jumping, heading, all 80 plus. Stamina 81 is very good for a centre back. And then down the left, that ball control and low pass now that he's playing at centre back is a lot better. And again, the skill set that we just looked at, he's got some great skills for a centre back. So personally, if I'm looking at this guy, defensive midfielder, maybe not so sure. Centre back with this build, now we're talking. Definitely an option. I think he's a lot more valuable as a centre back. And our next one, Aaronson from Leeds. This guy's interesting again because he's got one of the biggest boosts of any of the players we're looking at. He goes up to 88 on his base card, but this version goes up to 92. He's an attacking midfielder. Can play wide right or left. I don't think he suits playing wide right or left so much, but you look down at his skill set here. It's good on the ball, got soul control, long range drive, long range shooting, first time shot. He can take chances, he can shoot from certainly inside the box. You'd have to probably put his finishing up a bit to make the most of a long range shooting. One touch pass and through passing, no. So he can play through balls, he can create chances, and obviously super sub again, great skill to have. But with through passing, is his low pass really high enough to capitalize on that? I don't think so personally. I think again we're going to tweak this build a little bit. So what we're looking at, take a little bit off his speed. Or maybe dexterity, in fact. Dribbling does not need to be that high. You can certainly get away with taking a chunk off there. His passing then, you can lovely. There you go. So now still tidy on the ball, still 80 offensive awareness, but 84 now for low pass. You're really going to make the most of that through passing skill with that. And he's still quick as well, 84, 85 for his pace. Good balance, fantastic stamina. And a super sub with a really good skill set for a creative midfielder. Certainly, especially if you're a Leeds fan, you're going to be loving this card. But in general, I think this guy with that super sub skill as well, really, really useful attacking midfield option. This is a pretty decent card. So next up, another creative midfielder, playmaker, Zaniolo, former Roman midfielder. He's a Galatasaray now. So he can play either through the middle as a number 10 or he can play wide right. Base card goes to 90. This one goes to 92. Again, you know, he's got good mobility. He's very good in the ball, but that passing high enough? I don't personally think so. You look down at his skill set. Got good shooting skills, long range drive, long range shooting, rising shots. One touch pass, but not through passing. Might want to try putting a skill trainer on him to get through passing, but he does have one touch pass. I would be looking to maybe get his passing up a bit. I think, again, if we maybe just play around a bit with the way his stats have been allocated, the points have been allocated, just tweak these a little bit. Don't need that one on aerial. Yeah, so again, we can get his offensive awareness up to 80. If he's playing in those attacking positions, that'll make him more responsive in and around the box. Good on the ball. Now the low pass is up to 80. Still got good pace as well, and his balance is decent. I would prefer that build personally. I'm not sure if I'd like him wide right or through the centre. Maybe he's wide right. Maybe he's wide right is where he's best, but he's got that versatility. Depends how you'd want to use him. You could use him in either kind of position, AMFSS or out wide. Could be a very useful card, Zaniolo. And he's quite a tall guy as well, with 75 physical contact. So he's quite a big, strong guy for a creative attacking midfielder. So he's an interesting one. Then next up, J.David from Lille. Now this guy's interesting. He is basically a typical pacey goal poacher. If you like players like Mbappe, Michael Owen and so on, he could be a really good option for you. You know, he's got great pace, he's got the offensive awareness, finishing's pretty good, good balance as well. Personally, they put 4 on aerial strength. He's not got any skills for heading. You look down at his skill set here, he's got some good skills on the ball for dribbling and whatnot. But really the two most important skills he's got, first time shot and one touch pass. So he can get his shots and passes away first time. I'm looking up here thinking, do we change anything? If he's not got the heading abilities in terms of the skills, he's not going to do much from crosses or long balls, so you might as well take 4 off there. He's still got 75 physical contact. But now we've got 4 points, and we can put them on maybe 1 extra on his speed, and then 1 is dribbling. So now ball control and dribbling both hit the 80 mark. And again, offensive awareness is lovely at 86. 83 finishing is good. Great pace and balance. This for me is a really, really good option as a pacey goal poacher. If you want to feed your strikers with through passes in behind the defence and have them run onto it and take chances, he could be a really good option for you. And he does have one unwavering form as well, which will be useful in the summer. So very good card that. And then we have Chiesa from Juve. Chiesa, very good. Goes up to 94. Base card goes up to 93, so it's not a huge boost. But yeah, I'm not sure what I would do in terms of the way his stats are allocated. I think they've got it pretty much right. You couldn't really get his passing that high unless you really sacrificed elsewhere. I think with him, you just got great pace, great on the ball, really effective wide player. And obviously you can play SS as well if you wanted to play him there. You look at his skill set down here. He's got pinpoint crossing. He's not got great lofted pass though, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. I don't think his crossing is going to be too great. Long range drive he does have. If you're playing in wide left, coming inside, hitting those long range curls into the far corner could be very effective. And another super sub as well. Great skill to have. Bring him on second half. So yeah, Chiesa very useful as a wide board and also could be used as an SS as well. That's a very good card. Fabinho, interesting one. This guy can be used 2 ways. So you start off looking at him as a DMF with his auto-allocated build. That actually is a centre-back build. I was playing around with that before I started recording. So I've built him here. I've taken off all the passing, all the dribbling. I've gone all in on the defensives. That for me is a really good centre-back build. The one concern if you play him as a centre-back, he's not brilliant in the air. You know, he's got a decent height on him at 6'2", but 78 jump, 77 heading. He could get found out if your opponent's a cross spammer, if you're getting a lot of crosses and long balls come into the box. Average pace for a centre-back. On the ball, he's pretty good for a centre-back. And then, like I say, those defensive stats, really good. Really, really good at centre-back. And down here, looking at the skill set, man marking, interception, sliding tackle. He's not got all the skills you'd want from a centre-back, so it's not a perfect build in that position. But certainly if you need a centre-back option, or if you've already got a Fabinho who's a defensive midfielder, you could have another Fabinho, then you got 1 centre-back and 1 defensive mid. And if you just look now at the auto-allocated build, this is what they did, what the game does. Again, the defense is pretty similar to what I had, but they put more on his passing. I personally, I would be looking to play around with this a little bit. I would take the defending down a bit to here. A bit more aerial. 1 off there. I think that's the build I'll put on him for defensive midfield. It's important again, like when we looked at Alvarez, you need ball control and passing. You gotta be careful not to give the ball away in that area of the pitch. So I personally would be doing that, getting a bit more on his ball control. Certainly the passing as well. He's now 84 for passing, which is good. Still got 90 for defensive awareness, which is fantastic. And then pretty average speed, but great stamina. Physical contact's pretty good. And again, pretty good skill set. He's got some of those good defensive skills, but he's got 1 touch pass as well, low lofted pass. I think most people know about Fabinho, what he's like. He's a really, really good defensive midfielder, one of the best in the game. That's the way I would just tweak the way his training points are allocated. I think that's a really good build. And like I say, again, you could train him as centre-back as well, but either way, you've got 2 options for the way you build him. Very, very good player. And he's got unwavering form, which will be great in the summer months when the top leagues have stopped for a few months. And the last player we're going to look at from these Masterful Stars, Marquinhos. He is tremendous. Don't think I'd really change anything of the way he's built. His base card goes to 94. This one goes to 96. So not a huge jump, but you know, his base card is very competitive. One of the better centre backs. Certainly, if you're looking at just the base cards, he's one of the best centre backs in the game. But this one now, he's that bit better as well. I don't think you really need to change much. If I was really going to be picky, I could look at that 89 aggression and think, oh, I'd like to get that to 90, so all his defensives are 90 plus. You take a couple off there, maybe take one off there. There you go. Now 90's all around, all 90 plus in that defensive column. Still got pretty decent pace for a centre back. Not brilliant, but certainly not slow. Physical's good. He's only 6 foot, which is not that big for a centre back, but 91 jumping, 90 heading. Got a great leap on him. He's got aerial superiority as well. You look down here at his skills. Excellent set of skills for a centre back. Interception and blocker. Acrobatic clearance. He's got aerial superiority to help him in the air. And he's good on the ball. You look down the left there. His control and his passing. This guy is honestly just an exceptional centre back. And honestly, if you don't want to pick this guy up, then you're crazy. He's just brilliant. So, 2 more players to look at then. 2 players that we've got with match pass. You start with Gouiri. Now this guy, he is really, really good. You look at the way he's built, auto allocation. Again, I don't think I'd really change much. They put 4, the auto allocations put 4 in his aerial strength. Don't think that's going to make a great deal of difference, so I would personally take them off there. I'd probably put one dribbling, to be honest. Stick his dribbling up. You could maybe take a couple of his dexterity. That's already really high. Couple off there. Even more in his dribbling, and then stick his passing up further. 1 point left. Use that for one of your playing styles. I mean, whatever you do, we've not changing much from the auto allocated build. This is a guy who is a deep lying forward, centre forward, great on the ball, good pace, great balance, offensive awareness is good, finishing is fantastic. Curl is fantastic as well. You look down here, he's got long range drive. So those finesse finishes, those curl finishes into the corner, deadly. First time shot and 1-touch pass as well, which for a deep line forward is useful. You know, we've just nudged his passing up to 75 and he's got 1-touch pass. So when he's dropping deep, getting involved in the build up, he's tidy. This guy I think is really, really good. I'm going to pick him up personally. I can't wait to try him out. So yeah, this is for the value match pass, which is the cheaper of the match passes. I think this is a really good player that they've given us. And then the other match pass player, the last one we're going to look at. This is from the premium match pass, Llorente from Atletico Madrid. This guy is versatile. I mean, you can play him anywhere in midfield or at right back. Auto allocated build, solid centre midfielder. His base card goes 92. This one 94. Bit of a boost. Looking at the way he's built, I mean, what could you do with him? You can do all sorts. I would personally look at taking some of his speed and stamina off because it's already great. You do that, he's still got 87 speed, 88 stamina. That's fantastic. So got some points to play with. I'm going to go straight to defending. Give him some aerial as well. Get him up to the 70 mark for physical contact. Passing doesn't need to be that high. Put that on defending as well. Boom. I would do that personally. You know, you look down at his skill set here. He's got a first time shot, dipping shot, long range drive. So when he gets in the box, he's going to be effective. But I don't think he's really going to be about attacking. He's all about the middle of the park. He's just going to be all over the place through passing. You look down here, trap back, interception, man marking, fighting spirit. Beefing up his defenses like I've done there makes him all the more effective in your own half. Really good speed and acceleration. Not the best balance. Physical contact could be better, but I can allow that with how good he is elsewhere. Great stamina, passing good, control and dribbling is good. You can play him at right back, defensive mid, centre mid. You can play him as an attacking mid, as we saw there with the skills, you know, long range drive, dipping shot, first time shot. He can get forward. You could play him as an SS if you really wanted. This guy is really, really useful. I'm going to probably pick him up. I don't know what kind of build I'm going to put on him, but whatever I do, it'll be something like this. And like I say, to be as versatile as this guy is with the kind of attributes he's got in his skill set, he's a really, really great player to pick up, especially to have him on your bench to bring him on if one of your players is getting tired, your winger's tired, your right back's tired, defensive mid, any of your midfielders. really useful player to pick up. And like I say, he's from the premium match pass, so he's a more expensive one, but if you've got the coins, I think he could be a really good option. So that covers all the players in the Masterful Stars pack and the 2 new match pass players. Hopefully you found that useful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.